Hi everyone, my name is Hannah. I'm sorry that I couldn't be here today. I am currently in Norway because I got a job here. I hope you enjoy my video presentation. Thank you. So in my presentation, I like to talk about 4 steps. Firstly, why I chose HPU's MATESOL program. Secondly, what I've learned from the MATESOL program. Thirdly, my practicum experience at HPU. And finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about my future. First, I would like to discuss how my background led me to choose HPU's MATESOL program. I believe my journey towards the program started while I was taking my bachelor's degree in sports and physical education at the University of Stavanger in Norway. When I first started, my ambition was to become a personal trainer. However, the degree program placed great emphasis on teaching, and I realized that working in a school and teaching physical education would suit me better. During the degree, one of my teachers told me that I could take 1 semester at Augustana College in South Dakota. I knew right away that I wanted to pursue this opportunity because I had always wanted to study abroad. Here are 2 pictures from South Dakota. On the left side you see me with the school's mascot Ole the Viking, and on the right side is a picture from a field trip to Crazy Horse Mountain. And of course, here you see me visiting Mount Rushmore with a group of other international students. Studying at Augustana College was a very valuable experience. Getting to use English every day really improved my skills, and when I returned to Norway, I could only think about going back to America. After finishing my bachelor's degree, I was fortunate enough to get a job teaching physical education at a junior high school. Getting experience in teaching was essential because it confirmed that teaching was the right path for me. However, my time there made me realize that having only one subject to teach would make it difficult to get a full-time job, because in Norway, being able to teach more than one subject makes you more attractive to employers. So I decided that I wanted to teach English in addition to physical education. Having made a strong bond with American culture while studying abroad, and being confident in my English skills led me to this decision. I discovered HPU's MATESOL program while surfing online. The program really seemed to fit perfectly into my plan of teaching English and physical education, and Hawaii didn't seem like the worst place to study. As a future English teacher, I've learned many useful theories and teaching methods from the MATESOL program. In the phonology class, I learned how English sounds are produced. For example, are the vocal cords vibrating? Which speech organs are involved in the sound? And how does the airflow move from the lungs to the speech organs? This symbol represents the voiceless TH sound. Voiceless means that the vocal cords are not vibrating. The sound is also called a dental fricative. Dental because the tongue tip is placed between the upper teeth, and fricative means that the sound can be maintained as long as there is air in the lungs. Learning how sounds are produced makes it easier to teach pronunciation. For example, instead of saying "repeat after me," teachers can give students specific guidance like place the tongue tip on your upper teeth. In this class, I also had the chance to study pronunciation errors that can be common for Norwegian learners of English. Studying this made me aware of the contrastive analysis hypothesis, which states that errors can be the result of transfer from a learner's first language. This means that some Norwegian learners might replace a target English sound with a native sound that is similar in quality. Although this hypothesis has been challenged, it might explain certain phonological errors for some learners. My research paper in this course was Common Problems with English Pronunciation by Norwegian Learners. One of my sources had actual error examples of Norwegians mispronouncing the TH sound. They pronounced it as a regular T sound. For example, the words with, thing, and three were mispronounced as wit, ting, and tree. Given that the TH sound does not exist in Norwegian, it is likely that the error was caused by first language interference. In the class Assessment in TESOL, I learned several ways to test language learners. One of the course requirements was to create a test for a group of ESL students. This requirement was a group project, and I got to collaborate with 3 other classmates. Our task was to create a vocabulary test. In the test, we assessed vocabulary recognition, which led us to use multiple choice as our assessment technique. I found this technique very challenging. I especially struggled with creating good distractors. A distractor is an incorrect option in a multiple choice item, and creating them was difficult because I had to take many considerations. For example, the distractors had to have similar length as the target word to avoid it standing out. Also, if the target word was an adjective, then all the distractors had to be adjectives. Considerations like these eliminated many of my original ideas and made it hard to come up with appropriate distractors. After doing an item analysis, I discovered that many of the distractors were not chosen by anyone, which means that they were probably too easy for the students' skill level. After some reflection, I believe the test would have been better for the students if we had assessed vocabulary production instead of vocabulary recognition. Creating good and unambiguous distractors makes the multiple choice format difficult, especially for inexperienced test creators. This class has definitely prepared me for creating tests in the future. The experience also humbled me as I got to see how much work went into one vocabulary test. Lastly, I would like to talk about the class Using Corpora in the Language Classroom. This class taught me the importance of establishing authenticity in the classroom. A corpus is defined as a large principal collection of naturally occurring text stored electronically. Naturally occurring text means that the texts are from actual language situations, like conversation between friends, meetings, letters, or newspapers, rather than just made-up language. Corpora can therefore be a good tool for teachers that want to give students authentic language material. There are large corpus databases like COCA where teachers can collect authentic language samples to use in the classroom. One teaching technique commonly used with Corpora is data-driven learning. The principle with this technique is that students will play detectives with the language. Teachers can select authentic text samples that guide students to discover grammatical patterns or functions of a target language structure. The benefit with corpus-based teaching is that learners get to see authentic language examples from real-life situations. This can help them model after successful speakers of English. A problem with many traditional textbooks can be that their language examples, like dialogues, are made up, which can make the language sound unnatural. I would now like to share my Practicum 2 experience with you. I was able to have my practicum at two different places. At first, I was in a workshop for reading and writing at HPU. The workshop was free and offered extra help to English learners wanting to improve their literacy skills. The students worked on a writing project called Faces, and the idea of the project was that students chose a picture of a face that became the character in their writing assignments. Each time we met, the students had a different writing topic. For example, in one lesson the topic was the character's appearance. The workshop experience taught me how important it is to make the task authentic for the students. One of my tasks lacked authenticity. The task was describe your character's appearance. It lacked authenticity because it did not relate to any real-life situations. I feel my students needed to know which situations would require them to describe someone's appearance. A more authentic version of my task could have therefore been, you witnessed a crime and need to describe the suspect to a police officer. Unfortunately, the workshop had to be closed down in March because too few students were attending. I therefore got to work in a vocabulary class at ELS. During my time there, I noticed that the students were more motivated with tasks that involved group discussions. I saw that they made an effort to negotiate meaning with each other and that they were eager to share their opinions. I therefore believe that social interaction is important for language acquisition. As a teacher, I want to give my students many opportunities to interact with their peers and with myself. As I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, I am currently in Norway working. Thanks to the MATESOL program, my dream of teaching English and physical education came true. I now teach at a high school called Stavanger Katedralskole, which is one of the top schools in the city of Stavanger. So without the MATESOL program, I would not have my dream job. This is the end of my presentation. I would like to give a special thanks to my Capstone mentor, Dr. Nguyen, and my reader, Professor Barbara Hannum, for all their help and guidance. I hope you enjoy my video presentation. Thank you for listening.